They say business is a combination of war and sport, which implies that business is all about competition, business is all about risk-taking, and business is about its gains. Having said that, if you need to be competitive, if you need to be risk-taking, you need to be abreast of information. You need to be abreast of your competition. So there you go. This is your weekly dose of information to do with the corporate world. So you know you are at it, and you also know that you have all the information of the corporate world over the past 1 week. This week, we have an esteemed personality. The individual who spearheaded Olympics Committee from British Petroleum, Mr. Sujith Weerasinghe. Mr. Sujith, welcome on our show. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's been more of a monumental, I would say a redefining kind of a position that you held.
Exactly.
London Olympics, the most important event. And you've been a torchbearer. More than that, you've been the Olympics operations manager on behalf of BP. Tell me, share with us the experience.
I mean, if you want to touch base on the Olympic side, what's exactly the right terms for this Olympics is the biggest show on earth. So, I mean, it is a project which will continue every 4 years, and I would like to say it's a zero tolerance or zero error project. You cannot make any mistakes. You make a mistake, there's a massive brand damage on your company. And that could be the end of the story for your company. If you do it right, there's a massive impact. So these are the things actually that you need to learn, and you need to be really on the game. So there's no error for margin.
Asking, British Petroleum, as you would agree, in the recent past, the spotlight has been on the ethical perspective.
Exactly.
It's kind of perceived as a brand that's probably, not done justice at times. That's a perception around. So now, fueling the future, you went with that theme for BP. And there was also a connection with carbon footprint.
Exactly.
Could you tell me how was this entire incident viewed? Because I see it as more of a, coming out there and making a statement saying, look, no, your perception is wrong, we're completely different.
Exactly. I mean, yes, there was, you may have seen what's happened in the press, Gulf of Mexico, what happened. It wasn't BP's fault. But as a responsible company, BP went and put the hands up and saying, yes, there was some errors did happen, but we'll take the responsibility. But let's find whose fault later on. So that is what the bigger brands, bigger companies, they do. They take the responsibility, then they work upon it. And even, as you said, this was the first Green Olympics. And BP has been a massive part of it. Fueling the future, carbon footprint, bringing the biofuel, first time into the UK. And the BMW cars running with biofuel, the first time. And that shows that how much BP involvement with the green technology.
I mean, something that really clicked me was what you said, leading without a title. Now, coming to that, now you had stints in Sri Lanka as well, prior to you going abroad. Right now, my question to you is, if you take Asia as a culture, we do have a power distance. I mean, I want you to tell me, and I want you to share with us, what do you feel is a European perspective? How is it felt over there? Is there a power distance? I believe not. And then if that is so, how helpful is it to proceed your organization forward?
I mean, this is one of the things that mainly in Asia, that we have a massive gap between the top boss and here. We need to close this gap. In the Western world, I have a lot of experience in the UK, and the gap is very, very minimal. Now, I used to, when I was doing the Olympics role, I used to have regular meetings with the top boss. And he comes to my desk and he says that, Sujith, give me an update. We have corridor chats. We have a coffee chat. Will that happen here? Maybe not, maybe. But it's very minimum if it's happening. Now, for you to have a coffee chat with your top man in the company, these are the things that, because then you speak the same language as the biggest boss in the company. You know what he wants to achieve in your company. If you don't close that gap, I'm not saying that you need to go as a boss to every single party with your employees and have a jolly party. That's not the case. What we're saying is everybody sit down and have a discussion on the same table.
Now, having questioned on, the motivational side of it, tell me, now you were at Marks and Spencer. So you were more about a retail, FMCG kind of individual. Then you took a complete shift, I would call it a complete paradigm shift to the petroleum industry. And once you went there, how was the experience? Do you think the industry change is so huge, or do you think it's a part of business? It's nothing much of a difference.
Exactly. I think it is clearly in your words. It's a part of the game. It is part of the game. It's otherwise like you changing your pillows because you have a different headaches.
True.
Yeah.
True.
It doesn't matter.
True.
The basic principles are there.
True.
You need to adopt to your company policies.
True.
You need to know the variety of policies.
True.
That's all you need to know.
So just to ask you now, see, petroleum industry, they say petroleum is a non-renewable resource, and you're
Yeah.
coming up with biofuel. Can you tell me what's the future of this industry? Do you see this industry continuing over a very long period of time? How are things going to change, especially in terms of BP?
I mean, biofuel is we have shown during the Olympics time. It is a practical. It can happen. We brought lots of the industry experts. Even Dr. Toyota came into one of our showcase areas to see how BP is ready to produce biofuel. And he was confident.
So you feel Toyota is going to be a major consumer or major partner in terms of biofuel for the future?
This is where now Dr. Toyota's visits can lead into. Because Dr. Toyota, after his visit, is very interested. Otherwise, I'm very sure that he won't be a visitor there.
Exactly.
So this is where BP is saying that biofuel is not like 2050. We will bring within distance, very, very short distance, we'll bring the biofuel to the real world. I mean, this is where the green fuel will be coming into place, because we need to change things. Otherwise, you cannot survive in the long term.
Okay. One last question before we take off. The question would be, now, if you take the current European crisis, or in other words, I would like to term it as a more of a dampened economic state. How has been the impact on BP? Or is it the fact that, look, it is a product that's inelastic, you need to travel, so we are okay, or are you feeling the brunt of it?
See, it's tough there, and if you look at BP, is their pricing strategy is they're a little bit expensive than any other retailer. If they're selling diesel for 141.9, you can get another different from a retailer, 139.1.
Do you match competition when you price?
Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, because we know BP fuel is a premium market. We get there because we have a better shops, it's a better fuel, and we have variety of fuel, and sometimes you get more mileage from our advanced fuel, and people believe that, because people they're happy to pay that one extra 1 pence per liter, because they trust their brand, because they know it will look after the engine, it gives them more mileage, and if there's a problem with the fuel, they know they can come back to the retailer and say, we have a problem.
There's a confidence.
The trust and the confidence.
Exactly. All right. So we've heard quite a lot. We've gotten an insight into the world of petroleum, Olympics, motivation, inspiration, and that's what Beyond Business brings to you.